Greetings. Welcome. Anyone that may be checking this out live, hello, welcome. Haven't streamed in a while. Been wanting to do it. Nothing fancy today at all. I'm just gonna keep this one simple. You may see me on the camera later, but yeah, this is just gonna be straight up ghost boxing, old-fashioned ghost boxing with an older, I guess is a better term, ghost box. It's not an app per se. It's not a computer program. It doesn't contain any sort of sound banks. It's literally just a sweeping radio, old school. And yes, if you're new, brand new in this, unfamiliar with what's going on, this is termed instrumental transcommunication is the fancy term. It's kind of the umbrella term now, encompassing any sort of electronic communication through spirits, be it televisions, telephones, tablets, and even digital voice recorders. The EVP phenomena is kind of under the whole ITC whole blanket term. So yeah, what I've been doing now, 2 years and 2 months, I've been uploading my research as influence free as possible. I tend to use basically just the term spirits as again, kind of an all-encompassing umbrella term to deal with these energies, because I don't know what they are. So even to this point, I've had some interesting experiences through all this, but you know, there's really it's so sporadic, it's so random that you just never know. So I hope everybody, wherever you are on this crazy rock that seems to be spinning as we're told, I hope you're having a good one wherever you're at. Kick back, relax, and I'm going to fire up this ghost box. And what it is it's similar to a digital voice recorder, or the electronic voice phenomena, where I ask a series of questions and I wait in between these questions and see what sort of words or sounds or what comes out as I proceed through this experiment. And sometimes you hear some really interesting things. Sometimes you hear stuff that you just cannot explain. And at this point, I feel like I have been communicating with something. As to what this something is, I can't tell you. I still can't tell you. I know the popular beliefs. I think it's a mix of a lot of these, maybe. If these popular beliefs are real, if we've somehow nailed it right on the head for something that can't be proven or explained. Yeah, I think it's more of a mix of all this stuff. So am I talking with deceased humans? Possibly. Am I talking with the devil himself? Possibly. Am I talking with maybe some sort of angelic creatures? Maybe. Are they things like shadow creatures? It's just as possible. Time travelers. I like this idea because it would be one of the safest ways in our current, what we think is an understanding of time and space, be one of the safest ways to time travel in some sort of ethereal spirit form. What else could it be? Interdimensional, extraterrestrial. It could be spirits that we think are human, and they are human, but we think they're actually more of from our civilization, but maybe they're a more advanced human civilization, an aka Atlantean one that existed hundreds of thousands of years before us, and maybe they're some ascended species now, and that's the easiest way for them to interact with us on our level, is to appear human-esque. So, I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm not going to tell you because I don't know. We all have our beliefs. We've all traveled our own paths throughout the spiritual / supernatural realm in our world. And the more I research it, the more stuff I find, and the more I feel our existence in general is completely supernatural. It's beyond explanation. So we can explain a lot of stuff down here, in the dirt and the grime on what's going on around us. We seem to be able to explain a lot of it, but there is a ton we can't, and there's a lot that we are yet to even stumble upon in this reality, in this universe, that we can explain or even begin to try to understand or explain. So yeah, nothing fancy tonight, guys. Just I'm going through on the ghost box. It's ready to go. So I'm going to ask my first question. I'm going to start off a series of simple questions, kind of like the ones you hear on TV and all the shenanigans all the time. And then I'm going to move into some weird ones. And I'm not going long today. I'm only going to be an hour or two max. This is just a straight up live ghost box session. So it's essentially like an extended version of my other ones. Sometimes I'm on camera, sometimes I'm not. And yeah, I really wanted to ghost box, and I really wanted to just do an old fashioned one. So all that said, spirits, energies, gather around, let's communicate. I'm using this radio device. It's sweeping through our radio airwaves, which contain songs, music, DJs, people talking, and it's moving at a really fast rate as it's moving through all these dozens or however many stations there are. And we catch little clips, little tidbits of sound as it's going through. And there's no answer to what's really going on. The thoughts are you're able to manipulate the sound itself as it pops out, or you're able to actually somehow put your voice into that, and we're hearing straight up your voice without any sort of manipulation or help from somebody talking over the airwaves. I don't know. You could be in the white noise. You could be the hissing that you hear. Maybe you're able to somehow conjure up words through that. We really don't know. I don't know. I've never claimed to know. I just experiment with this stuff and I present it, and hopefully I can do it as influence free as possible, and let whoever stumbles upon this weird experiment decide on their own. All right. All that said, thank you, everyone. Thank you. Anyone in chat? Hello, hello. Anyone in the future? Hello. Pastor Rusty says, what's happening? And that's about it. We're just going to start right off. So thank you all. Let's go. I'm going to let it warm up for a minute, and then I'm going to just start off with simple questions. So here we go, spirits. This is a spirit box test, December 11th, 2016. It is approximately 10:47, I think, around somewhere around there. 10:37, I mean, 10:37. And yeah, here we go. Thank you, spirits. No. Jesus. What's interesting about a handful of these, a couple of these physical ghost boxes I possess, I don't have anything fancy other than the PSB7 when it comes to, you know, well-known, quote-unquote, air quote, professional paranormal research stuff. And so the majority I have are just market radios, portable radios that you can either hack or not have to hack. And the one we're using tonight, we don't have to hack. But I've noticed there's an interesting sound besides the radio, besides the white noise, besides the kind of the sound when it hits the end of its sweep and bounces back around. There's interesting kind of like a, how would I term it? It's kind of sounds like a razor, like a bzz, like a buzz, like a deep buzz from time to time that changes in tones and has weird things. And I'm just going off top of my head, just hearing that right now, reminded me of an old PSP7 session long time ago where it was live, and near the end of the session, after like 6 hours or whatever, the PSP7 was starting to make that noise, that buzzing noise, but like it started to sound like words, and they started to sound like robots talking. It was really weird. It was a handful of robot-esque sounding words coming out of the PSP7, and that reminded me of George Meek and his work with just look it up. It's really hard and lengthy to explain, but I highly recommend searching the George Meek 1983 press conference. I think it was 83, just George Meek press conference, when he reveals to the world his spirit box research. And that was the one that sounded really robotic when in his experiments. He was getting full sentences out of, he's like, yes, do this, you must have the frequency, like all this weird stuff. And the press conference is freaking interesting. I really wish I could get a press packet or whatever they call those things from there. He kept showing a poster, and I tried to search up this poster. I can't find it, so I didn't really look long, but maybe one day. All right, spirit. So yeah, spirit. Imagine this as a radio, as a two-way device between your reality and our reality. Okay, guys? So my name is Rusty. It's nice to meet you. Can we start off to see if we can maybe get some names through the box? If you can, let's try to kind of a way we can see if you're around us right off the bat. If we hear some names. So whom am I speaking with tonight, or whatever proper English is? All right, Spirits, please go ahead.
Okay.
So like a female Patty, maybe? I heard a female, maybe Patty. Hi, Patty. I'm just going to run with it because I can't confirm or deny if I'm actually speaking with these things. So if I hear a name, I'm just going to run with it. Hi, Patty. How you doing? My name is Rusty. It's nice to meet you. Am I speaking with a Patty? Yes or no, please? Can we try to get a confirmation?
Saying interest.
Okay, right there before high interest, I heard a melodic kind of singing, yeah. So I'm gonna run with it. Well, it's nice to meet you, Patty. I'm assuming you're female. You might not. Well, I heard two female voices, so I'm gonna take that that I heard as yes, and I'm gonna run with the female. So, Patty, can you tell me how old you are, dear? How old are you? That was a weird one.
I'm free. With the perfect old man.
Wow, that was an interesting female long sound that just came out of there. That sounded distressed right before a male voice, right before I turned it down. That was interesting. Thank you. Wow, that was cool. I like that. I'm not saying you may be in distress, but to me, that sounded like that could have been spirit. Like, I don't know why the radio would be coming through like that. That first off, it was longer than most words. It sounded muffled and more staticky. It was just completely unique so far out of everything I've heard tonight or today, technically. So thank you. Patty, can you tell me what happened to you? How did you get into your, what we call ghost or spirit form? What happened to you?
Yes. Answer. You got whoa. You can.
Nothing really stood out there. Well, thank you. All right. Do you have a message you would like to try to get across, Patty? If you want to say anything, if you can get anything, if you need help, if you want to say I love you to someone who might be listening that might catch this someday, just say anything you can for a minute, please. Some really interesting words. I heard that to death. Yeah, I heard that wolf too. That stood out actually when I heard that. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. We're gonna try to get another name here, Patty. We're just stay around if you can. If there is a Patty here, I can't say there is, but there may be. I'm just gonna run with what I hear. There's no other way. I only get one shot. This is live. I just gotta commit and do it. So Patty, thank you. Hang around. We'll try to talk to you maybe in a bit, but I want to try an experiment now. Patty, if you can, or anybody else. This is the Rusty experiment. On every session, I see if we can try to get the boxes to say my name. That's like I like to imagine in my head us high-fiving that way. That's since I can't see you or touch you. We're kind of high-fiving if you say Rusty back through the box. So let's take a minute and see if you can try to say my name, Rusty. Let me know you're here too, guys. Please, anyone.
I'm saying. What's a look? Tell me. What price? .com. You didn't do a new did I start with this? So now on it. Become. By John. Orange. The smartphone.
See, like in that, okay, thank you, Spirits. I just want to kind of comment as I'm thinking. Right there in that stream of words, that line of words that we just listened to between questions, I heard a .com, I heard just something else that's just there that was a clear radio. Like the radio ones are so much, like they're just radio. You can tell after enough experience in doing this enough. In comparison to what I'm just commenting on those two radio ones, I'm sure there was most of those radios right there. Earlier, 5 minutes ago, we got that female voice, a long, drawn out kind of scream, like a distress sound. Like that in comparison to hearing like .com is just so crazy night and day, just completely different. So those are the ones I feel have weight in this field, and those are interesting, and I love those spirits. So spirits, if you're listening to what I mean, that's the kind we're trying to find, the stuff that really sticks out, even if it's not if I ask what color is the sky, and like if it's not an intelligent response, like you saying blue, if you say sky back or something along those lines, like we get these really unique, interesting things. So that's what we're looking for. In the long run, it'd be awesome if you could say exactly what we're trying to get you to say every time, but you don't have to. And words can be used like pictures. Words can be used as symbolism. So it's up to the listener to try to decipher that. And I love that saying in the world of symbolism. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, a symbol's worth 1,000 pictures. Just one symbol has tons of meaning. So what do you think of that, Spirits?
So that 80 years. See? Then you get.
Is that a way that you communicate with us besides the intelligent response, like yes or no, or the sky is blue? Do you use words as symbols as well? Right there was an interesting one. That was a whispery. It said back in or pack in or something. It was a male voice, kind of whispery and slightly longer than the average word clip that comes out of this. So was that a spirit? I don't know, but those ones stick out to me. They feel like there's something more to them than just a clip of a DJ talking 10 miles away or whatever. So yeah, very weird, very unique. Thank you, spirits. All right, can we try to get another name now of who we may be speaking with? And if I hear a name and can isolate a name, I'm going to try to ask that person a few questions like we did with Patty. So if we can do that, please go ahead, spirits.
Okay, 2 seconds.
James.
Well, thank you, spirits. I'm sorry. I was doing something and I did not hear any names, but it did. I was like kind of listening, and it did sound like there was interesting stuff coming through. So, man, I'm sorry, spirits. I sometimes just zone out. Can we try again, please? Pretty, please. Can we try? I'm gonna listen this time, I swear, and try to get your name through this, please.
There's an inch.
It's interesting you said James, because that was like, I was trying to like think back in my head real quick if I heard anything, and Jim popped in my head, but I wasn't sure if I heard a Jim, so I'm gonna run with James. James, we may have heard of James. If you're around, James, buddy, try to talk with me for a few minutes. How are you doing today, James? Are you doing good? You doing bad? Tell me about how you're doing today. That was a weird one. Well, it's nice to meet you, James. My name's Rusty. Just doing this weird thing where we're trying to basically make a phone for whatever we're speaking with, a two-way communication. Common belief is that you are human, or were human at one point. You still are. I mean, if you're consciously aware of stuff that's going around, you're just this new version of you. The next you shed your skin, and now you're a spirit. And that's what we're fascinated with, and that's what we're poking, the veil to try to find answers, is what's going on over there? What happens? Why this? Why that? Who, what, where, when? We as humans, we thirst for these questions. Even if we get answers that some people will tell you are the answers, it still doesn't suffice, and people still search. And we know there's more out there, James. So can you tell me, James, how old are you? Can you tell me your age, please? Now, as I ask these questions, I realized that you may not be able to respond immediately. We may hear some answers later on as I'm asking questions in different sweeps. So, spirits, please be aware of that. I try to remind myself of that, because that's kind of a thought too with EVP. Sometimes you ask a question, and you may actually get an EVP 6 questions later, and that EVP, you have to kind of remember what questions you asked, and that's why recording is nice, and it may be more relevant to other questions than the actual question that it was captured on. So you got to be aware of these kind of things, spirits. And yeah, James, so can you tell me what happened to you to enter into spirit form? Do you know? Can you tell us, please?
That is.
Are you?
C3.
See, right there was a melodic good. Right before I turned it down, I heard good, like a melodic good. And the melodic ones are interesting because they sound like music, but in the form of words. So it's different than singing. So it sounds like kind of like a musical instrument in a word. And that correlates with what I was just speaking of, the delayed response. Because I just asked a question prior, how are you doing? Are you doing good? Doing bad? And right there at the end, right before I turned it down, I heard good, like a melodic good. So thank you, James. I have to just go with gut. I have to just go with what I hear, and hopefully this is panning out somehow. I can't guarantee it. So, James, good. I'm glad you're good. I'm good. I'm having a chill Sunday, just relaxing, and just felt like doing some good old fashioned ghost boxing. So let's try to find out a little information about you, James, if we can. Can you tell us where are you from, James, please? Just heard help. All right, thank you, James. All right, I'm gonna ask a couple more questions, and then we're gonna move on to just random spirits, if anybody can communicate, and then I may ask to isolate another spirit. So James, what did I had a question lined up. What was it? I got distracted. Oh man. All right. Well, I just got to pull one out of thin air. James, are you James? Okay. Yeah, here, James. I'm gonna try to get you to tell me about the spirit world real quick. Is the spirit world completely separate from our world, or is it just overlapping us, as in you are constantly around us, or do you, for lack of a better term, kind of pop in and out of reality? Man, I see. I had a more simple question than that. That's what happens when I have to pull it out of thin air and make it too complex. They, yeah. Let's just say, is it? Let's go with the choice. Can you say constant or random? Is the spirit world constantly on us, or is it randomly around us at random times? Right there was a weird one. It was a female voice, sounded like multiple channels, long drawn out and somewhat muffled. I couldn't make out what it said. Couldn't tell if it was English or Spanish. Didn't sound like Spanish. That was a weird one. All right, James. We're gonna, I ask random weird things from time to time, and I'm hoping you guys can give us hints of what your reality is like. All right, so last thing, James, for now is not a question. Just try to, if you have a message at all you want to get across to anyone, please take this time to try to tell us anything you want to try to tell us, anything you want to get off your chest, anything you want to tell a loved one. They may somehow randomly catch this. There may be a loved one listening right now. You never know. So take this next minute or two and just try to say anything you can, James. And then we're going to end our conversation with James and open it up to everyone, any energies around. So go ahead, James, please. And thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I thought I just heard my name right there. Thank you, male voice.
He's 38.
That was an interesting sounding one. All right, thank you, James. Thank you, Patty. If we were speaking to both those, I really appreciate it. And yeah, I just want to take a second and kind of my friends watching across the world and to my spirit friends talk about this stuff right now, just for a second. This is basically my gear, and this is the stuff that I prefer to use. And the reason why it's just being displayed and none of it's on currently is I am out of freaking batteries, and I had one 9-volt and it died. And so the 3 things in the back all take a 9-volt. That takes 2 AA's. I do have an that is juiced, so I was thinking maybe doing an EVP session in a bit. And so everything else is out of juice spirits, so I can't use any of those other devices kind of currently. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you spirits and anyone watching, just like, these are the devices that I try to communicate with. This is called an EMF pump. This puts out an electromagnetic field, and I picture it like a bubble of energy, and you can use the device next to it to detect that kind of energy, because we feel that you may be comprised of mostly, partially, or entirely of electromagnetic frequency or fields or energy. And so we feel that with the pump, imagine it like a water well. It's pumping out the energy, and we think you can feed off of that and become stronger. And the device next to that has a little light system where it can detect that energy. And if I had everything running, I could turn that on and we could see the bubble. You can actually, by using the K2, the black device next to it with the lights that detects electromagnetism, you can actually kind of get a feel for the size of the bubble depending on how much juice you got going into the actual power, because you can adjust and make it stronger and weaker. And then this device to the right, the third device to the right is called a direct contact box, and that's kind of similar. It's to where we feel that your energy can get close to it and be detected. Now it detects more of like a static and electric build, I think, in the long run, versus an electromagnetism. And these are just weird devices. These are the other radios that I've used to try to communicate with you guys. Digital voice recorder. I ask questions and we just record the sound in the room, the ambient sound, and we think that somehow, even though you don't possess the same material matter for a body and the things that we have that you actually need, because there's a lot of stuff going on when I say anything. When I just speak a sound, there's multiple organic things going on in my body. And even though you don't seem to have these organic functioning faculties, you still get words out. And that little silver device is commonly believed to be able to capture these weird words that pop out in the middle of a quiet room when somebody's just sitting there asking questions. And this little thing is the very first speaker I ever got out of. That's the very first mouth, I guess you could call it, for spirits to be able to communicate with me. I got my first, what I believe is an intelligent response, a highly intelligent response, because it literally said what I asked it to say pretty much right after I asked it, and with no other words before it, and came out of this all-tech speaker. So is the speaker the key? Is the device that we hear the words, is this the main driving engine to this phenomena? Or is it the radio? Is it the electricity that's connecting it all? We really don't know. We just experiment from what has become popular through popular culture. And, you know, I think they're on to something. And there's now 30, 40 years or more of experimentation, serious people that aren't in the limelight that are experimenting with this stuff. And I think there's something to it. All right, Spirit. So I just want to take a quick break and kind of explain that stuff to you, explain it to anybody that's watching. Oh, and I guess I can wrap it up with tarot cards. As I got into tarot cards throughout all this interesting research, and that's kind of a ghost box in a way, kind of an ancient. I think of it more as a map. I think of it more as kind of the fancy thought is through people like Carl Jung, that there's this energy, this universal consciousness that is always around us, always there, and that we can tap in and out of it through weird ways, like the sensation when you detect that the phone's gonna ring, like a friend's gonna call you right before you get it, and then you get it, and then all of a sudden the phone. That weird phenomena, Carl Jung thinks, is that universal consciousness, and moments like that, we sometimes knowingly and unknowingly tap into it. And so tarot cards is basically the same kind of random idea. Through that random shuffling and random just grabbing cards, the universe will randomly, with synchronicity, show you things, and it's up to you to discern what the cards are saying. So I kind of look at it like a map, like a GPS, and kind of gives you ideas of directions that may be going. But even the most profound tarot readers will tell you that none of it's set in stone, and it's free will in the long run. And tarot is just kind of a guidepost to give you ideas at what might be ahead. So that's the idea of that. All right, spirits. So yeah, all that said, now I'm going to just try to get any spirits to talk to me, anybody at all. And let's start off with the Rusty experiment one more time for now. Might end in the session with that, but I only like to do it a couple times, 2 or 3 times in the session. Since this has been going for a while and I talked to a few things, a new energy can identify itself is just, let's try to say Rusty through this box. We're not going to focus on your names. We're just going to see if you can say Rusty, and then I'm just going to start asking random questions, and let's see what the box will say. So spirits, it's nice to meet you. If you're here with me still, can you try, if you can, please, you don't have to, it's totally up to you. Can you try to say Rusty through this box for me? Thank you very much. Go ahead.
Down.
Secular music. Do it.
Awesome. Thank you, spirits. Yeah, just real quick, kind of catching up in chat. 30, you heard 30. That's interesting, because that about the whole thing about delayed responses. Yeah, so James, that might have been James, is about 30. Yeah, interesting. I thought I heard that too. And there's so many things I think I hear, and I wait to see if you guys mention it in chat. If I hear it and I think that's what it is, I generally say it. But there's a lot of stuff I hear that I didn't even catch. So yeah, so hey, hello everyone, wherever you are. I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. Yeah, we're not gonna be going too much longer. It's just kind of I just felt like it. I woke up and it's like I haven't ghost boxed in a while. I haven't been doing YouTube much in general, and I need to work on. There's a handful of video series that I'm still working on, but it's taking for a while because I've got a ton of things, and yeah. But anyway, so all right, spirits. There was something else. I think there was one more thing. This is a physical ghost box. This is the Sony M37W market. It's still on the market. I think it's like $30 or so, 30 or 40. And yeah, you don't have to hack it. It comes out of the box sweepable to where it doesn't have that funky beep that the ones that you have to hack have. A beep when you sweep. You hear a beep 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 beep, beep on like the Memorex and on the COS PP257 or whatever that one is. But with this, the Sony, you don't have to do that. And yeah, so I like it. And I've heard some really weird things so far. The ones that stand out, like I said earlier, was there was a female voice drawn out and a male voice drawn out that are just so much different than when you hear radio voices. They're drawn out longer. They sound somewhat muffled. They just sound really unique compared to where you hear like .com or shop there, or you hear like clear radio stuff. But yeah, fascinating. All right, spirits. Well, it's nice to meet you. Tell us about yourselves. Tell us how you became a spirit, please. I want to know. And I have a kind of a gut feeling it may help you. It may help to talk to someone about this kind of stuff if it's something that you worry about or think about or stress about. Sometimes it's good just to get it off your dang chest. So, can you tell us, spirits, what happened to you? How did you enter into spirit form? Please go ahead.
Feel like right. I did not. What's this?
How you treat?
There's some really interesting stuff coming through this. Keep going, spirits. Thank you. I'm hearing some really interesting stuff. Again, I have to re-listen to a lot of this, so that'll be another reason why it's gonna be nice to only be like a couple hours versus like 8 hours. So thank you, spirits, and keep going. Keep going.
He talks about. And now. The real problem. Hands free.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy being a spirit, or do you hate it? Do you wish to be human again? Tell us what you feel like, what your opinion is of being a spirit, please.
Help the place we can go. For everyone.
Reach. I can't put a good.
My son is dirty carpet.
Yeah, I thought I heard that too, and I was thinking the same thing, and especially plural. And I was kind of just speaking of spirits and stuff. So yeah, we thought we heard spirits. So thank you. We're listening. We're listening as good as we can. I have a handful of friends that are listening. Handful of friends are going to be listening later. We're really fascinated in listening to spirits' voices. It's when you hear stuff that stands out, it's just so weird. I can't explain it. I can't explain why I'm so fascinated with this, but I like it. So yeah. Okay, spirits. Can we try to get a number through the box? How many energies, how many ghosts, how many spirits, how many people, how many things am I communicating with? Is there 5? Are there 12? I don't think we heard 30 earlier. All right. But yeah, other than that, let's try to get a number through the box after I ask it. How many spirits are we talking with today, please? Go ahead.
just
Spirits, I almost just spilled an entire cup of coffee. Oh, that was a save, but I spilled a little. Spirits, I just went to try to grab this damn cup of coffee and I wasn't looking, and half of it kind of went everywhere, but thankfully nowhere near my laptop this time. Like the one time during a session I spilled like a freaking quarter glass of water on my laptop. I thought it was just going to burst into flames, but it didn't. It did not. So sorry, Spirits. I just wanted to tell my friends watching too, because they can't see behind the scenes right now, but yeah, that was really suave. I still got about half a cup though. So Spirits, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to waste that coffee. You're more than welcome to drink some of that coffee, by the way. All right, Spirit. So I asked a number. Now we're going to try to ask, this is just ways that we can get maybe possible intelligent responses out of it. I'm going to ask to see if you can get a color, the name of a color through the box. Can you tell us right here, this little radio that has the word Memorex on it? Can you tell me what primary color is that? What is that, please?
give away.
Learn more.
Simply. So pretty cool.
Learn even more.
Right there, right at the very end, I heard a faint blue, a male voice, blue, like it was like blue, real faint. I don't know if it came through the mic, but thank you, Spirits. All right, cool. We're gonna try another experiment. This is just something I have offhand. I'm doing this all on the fly. I just want I don't want to make it seem like it's a circus. So if you do not want to try to interact with me when I'm holding things in front of the camera and you can see if the box can say what they are, or what they think of them or whatever, you don't have to do this. I don't want to make you feel like you're on the spot. I want you to choose. It's very important. That's something, hopefully, at the end of the day, boil it all down, bottom line, whatever cliche you want to throw in. That's just, I really feel that's what we have. That's something nobody can take away. Choice, free will. So with all that said, this is not real. This is a prop. It has, where's the light? It has a switch right there. So don't freak out, anybody that's watching. This is not real. Spirits, what is this that I'm holding in front of my camera? Can you tell us through the box? What is this?
Hit you. We were called.
I can't place it down because they'll smash everything. All right, well, that's just an experiment. All right, Spirits. Well, it's nice to meet you. Is there something I can do for you? If there is, can you let me know? Is talking helping you? Can I do some sort of ritual? Can I say some sort of prayer? Is there something I can do that on my side, that I can help you with? Please let me know.
Them as well.
There you go.
Getting skinny.
First, dip. Office. If one of my
I tried this a couple sessions back near the end. I don't think I'm gonna do it. I may do it from time to time. I don't know. It feels like something I should not do online, like it's something personal, but I have a handful of more of the popular religion prayers, things like helping souls out of purgatory, I can't remember the terms of them all. I got to bring them back up, but I tried that on an experiment session a few times back, and it was really interesting. It had a really interesting feel to it. And did it help? I don't know. Maybe the least it does is give the spirits some sort of solace or some sort of comfort, because so many people's views and beliefs are with them their entire life. So if you feel you're neglected of a certain prayer that you need to be spoken to, and you can't in spirit form, you can't, you're just wandering around spectating the world, maybe just on a whim, me just saying some words out loud that a spirit can hear can maybe open up that door, or maybe, like I said, at the least help just a little, just anything. I'd rather help the least I can, but it's still helping, versus just not caring and doing this to be popular. I am more fascinated with this than I can even put into words, and clearly, and the more I do it, the more I get into just all the different avenues and ideas and thoughts, and it's crazy. It's never ending. And if I can help, I want to. So with all that said, with all that jibber jabber out now, is there a prayer, a certain prayer that can help a spirit to find solace, or to move on maybe to that different realm, to that white light, whatever it is, what other popular beliefs that are held by others? Is there a prayer? Yes, no? Can you name the prayers? Is there, if we can get the name, that's the best part. Because like, if you can say a certain biblical text or something, or just say no, or say yes, or something along those lines. I just want to know. But most importantly is the prayer name, the idea, along those lines. I think you're picking up what I'm putting down, spirits. So all right, go ahead, please tell us what you can about that. Hey, welcome everyone in chat. Thank you very much. I see you all. Yes, thank you. If you haven't been around for a while, thank you. I haven't been around much either. I've been kind of doing different things, but yes, I see you guys. I'm kind of staying, I'm trying to do things differently from what I did, from what other people are doing. And yeah, I'm here, I'm interacting, I'm watching, but yeah, I'm trying not to like have favorites or like call names. I've done that a lot. I see you guys. I love you guys. You guys are rock, and you're just as fascinated in this weird freaking phenomena as me. And I super appreciate that I can just, if I want to experiment, I can experiment in any way, and I have supporters. I can throw on my 4IR cam. I can just do something random like this. I can do switching up cameras. I can do bird's eye view of weird things. No matter what I feel like on the fly when I'm experimenting, I always have supporters, and I humbly appreciate that. It is one of the most, if not most, humbling experiences that I've had in my life, to realize that there are people, good or bad, up or down, no matter what, are interested in this phenomena just like me. And yeah, through this weird process of online interactivity, we've all kind of been funneled here through the cosmos system of weirdness, and it's crazy. And yeah, 2 years, 2 months. I'm a few days short of the 2-month barrier. But I was thinking that earlier before the session. Before I do a session, I literally sit for like an hour and try to think of like a million different things. I come up with all these different ideas, and I generally don't remember any of them. And I generally just like, all right, just go with the fly. Just go on the fly with what you gut is telling me. But like today, I was thinking about setting up a bunch of stuff. I thought like different things. What could I do? I have some really interesting ideas that I want to have in longer sessions. I've come up with a handful of different ideas that I'm yet to experiment with. And but today I just wanted to do it shorter and just do a kind of old-fashioned, just listening, seeing what I get. And Yeah, I don't think I've gotten a decent. I've gotten a couple maybe possible intelligent responses, but I've gotten some really weird things that have come out of this so far, and I don't know what they are still to this point. I feel that they're not bad because I feel like I've never been really in jeopardy or in danger throughout this process. But I can be real naive on a lot of certain aspects in life. So maybe it's just my fascination is just steering me away from that. I don't know. I really don't know. But I thank you, spirits. I thank everyone, my human friends, typing their little keyboards right now, people clicking on their mouses and watching later. It's really weird. It's this has been such a freaking journey. Yeah, I want to the stuff I want to do. I want to keep secret though. I want to wait until I do it, but I can talk about some things that I want to get back to real quick before I jump. I'm just for one more minute, and then we're gonna jump back into this ghost box. I really want to fire back up my video ITC experiments. I barely touched that in one session, so yeah, and of course I've done the smoke ITC, water ITC. Those are things I'm going to be bringing back, but I'm going to try to change them, do things differently than the norm, and add new wrinkles into the process, along with a handful of other things that I've come up with as I've been trying to tinker with stuff. And I've barely scratched the surface because I bored myself, and because I'm not actually sitting there and experimenting with it. I'm just thinking in my head. So I generally think of something, then move on, try to catalog it, and then move on to whatever video game I'm playing or whatever at the time. And but yeah, so a handful of them have stuck around in my head. And so yeah, in the future, there's going to be different experiments, none that I haven't done before. So yeah, so stay tuned for that, spirits and humans. And I thank you all, the cornucopia of existence around me. I just try to put out positive energy, and hopefully that's one of the main reasons why I really haven't had the negative experiences with the paranormal versus some people. I don't know. I really don't know, but I try to treat them like I treat my coworkers, how I treat people that I at the cashier at the gas station, you know, like I always am trying to be the nicest I can be, and not in a fake way. It's like, it's really me, because I've been there. I've been the cashier guy. I've done that. I know what it's like to do a lot of these things that people are doing. And so I always just approach them like if I was them on that other side, and how I would want to be treated. And I'm not a jerk, so I'm not going to walk up to somebody and be like, give me this. Like, all right, I'm getting way too into my own stuff now. So, all right, spirits, back to you. I've had the ghost box down for a minute. We're going to go for a little bit more, not too much longer. I don't know where we at. Maybe another half an hour, 40 minutes or so. Hour top, something like that. Not too much longer. So thank you, spirits. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, all that stuff I'm just saying, all these different weird experiments and all the people all over the world trying to communicate with you. Do you notice the increase in us live ones trying to communicate with the dead ones? Is that something the spirits are aware of? What can you tell us about that?
Enthusiasm.
Oh, real quick with the Phasma box. I saw a comment asking about the Phasma box. I've used the Phasma box quite a bit. I was a beta tester too for the app developer, the creator that makes that, Martin. Oh, I can't remember his last name right now, but Martin is his name. Extremesenses.com. And yeah, I like it. It is not the clearest, which some people may not like, but I actually kind of like that it is really reverb heavy, and the voices sound more like gibberish, because I tend to be more in the ballpark that when using applications and digital, anything like a PC or your tablet or phone, that the less clear English in the sound banks, in the set sound banks, is actually better, especially for the staunch skeptic. Because, I mean, how are you ever going to prove a ghost box is working when they open up the guts of the digital program and find that all the sound banks are clear, just words that like are themed or whatever? But if you have something like I've been using with another one of Martin's boxes, the Infinity box is a customizable one. I don't know how much the current one is, because I actually got the very first like handful that came out, and then he took it down because it was too complex and people were actually complaining about it and didn't like how complex it was to some degree like that. I don't know the whole story. I'm not there on that side. But he took it down. I was able to get a copy real quick. And so what I like to do is I take foreign language sound clips and then I reverse that. So it's already a foreign sound to my ear. Like I can tell it's either, if it's generally German, like I like to use German, Latin, and Russian. But then I reverse that. So then you just are having random sounds reversed. And so when you start hearing a lot of English coming out of those kind of ghost boxes that are using words that shouldn't really be words, that to me is like really tangible. And that's something I think the science field is really kind of completely unaware of at this point. There may be a handful, but the whole division between science and spirituality is just way huge right now. So it's probably not in our lifetime ever going to get to the point to where it was like in the Renaissance days, where there wasn't this giant gap to where those people researched everything and anything all together. And yeah, and that's where a lot of cool ideas came from. So yeah, man, I had a really good point to that too. And I started thinking about freaking whatever era that was, 1600s, 1500s. So yeah, spirits. I don't know what the heck's going on. I don't know how it's working. And that's why we just ask these questions. Are you reading the chat box right now? Can you see my friends in chat as they're communicating with us? Yes or no, please? Well, if you are, those are my friends that are watching live right now. Can you try to repeat back any of their names if you can read it off that screen? Like I'm pointing at it. Let me scroll up a little so you can see. There's a bunch of different names. They're going to listen for their names, and if they hear it, they're going to definitely, it's going to stand out. So can you try to let us know that you can see them either you might be able to see them in their house right now through some sort of spiritual network. We don't know. Or maybe you're just sitting here on my shoulder and you're reading the chat page. Can we take a minute or two and try to say hi and the names of anybody that may be watching, either in chat or not in chat, or people in the future? Let's try to communicate and say the names of people that are watching. Go ahead, spirits, please. Oh yeah, the Phasma box was what I was talking about. Hey, sorry. So spirits, one sec. Just to wrap that up, that was the Phasma box that we were talking about. I like it. I can't say for certain they're all great, and I prefer not to have to spend money on any of them. But I think that one's like $15. So I mean, if you can swing it and you want it, I say what the heck. You really have nothing to lose in the long run. But if you want to wait and experiment with free ones, I recommend that first. There's so many free ones, and extremesenses.com, the website that produces the Phasma box, has some free ones on there. And Afterlight is their newest one. The Afterlight box is a free ghost box. It's not as fancy as the Phasma box. Doesn't do quite. The Phasma box has a Latin bank as well as sweeping radios, and you can reverse the Latin bank. So that goes in with the idea of what I was talking about with like reverse German. And so that's why I trailed off and all that stuff. But that's why I like that Phasma box, is that feature as well. So I've gotten some interesting stuff out of it. It's been around for a while. I think it's like a year and a half old, a year maybe, somewhere around there. And yeah, I don't know. If you can afford it, if you can swing it, I say why not? What the heck? But there are free ones out there, and just do what's in your budget, what you feel like. So I think it's a decent one. I have a few videos too, if you'd like to check them out on the Phasma. I have long sessions with it, and I have short sessions with it. So spirits, yes, go back to chat. Let's try to get chat names. Try to say hi to anybody that's in chat. They're going to listen for their names. Try to say their names. Spook them out. Give them goosebumps, or goose pimples, as they're called in some parts of the world. Please do that if you can, spirits. They're listening.
The cart. Should be rolling down.
Oh.
You got to former
Something about
so
that.
You know, that's interesting that you heard Henry too, because he asked earlier to say his name, and that is going along with the theme, I guess, tonight of the delayed response. That's like the fourth possible delayed response, I believe, with the 30 and there was like two other, I can't remember now. But yeah, really weird, really interesting. And so thank you, spirits. Yeah. Do you have a message you want to get to them? Does a loved one want to say I love you? If they can, say their name and say I love you, or just say I love you. Or if you have any messages whatsoever for anyone watching, please go ahead.
success.
That question.
Wow, that was a really interesting right there. There was like 5 different voices and words that came through that were really interesting sounding. Yeah, just checking chat, reading about the giveaways. Those were so fun. That was a blast to do, and I was really lucky to be given. It was 8 or 10. I gave away, I think it was 5 of each. It was 4 of each or 5 of each of 2 different kinds. Yeah, that was really nice. I'm probably never going to be able to do anything that fancy again, but I would like to here in the near future. I've talked about this for a while, and then I got my strike, but I would like to eventually give away a few more ghost boxes because it's awesome. Why not? And there's a handful of really cheap ones these days. So, and maybe those damn Google Play gift cards, like I did, to give away a handful of those. I liked it. It was fun, and it was fun how we actually did the contests. So either the hat was okay, but the number game was the best because you guys, it was like going to the horse races, like watching who could get the number quick enough, as I had the number hidden on, like, it folded up, and so it was already there. No, that was awesome. But yeah, just go into that real quick. Hopefully not too long. We'll see. I don't want to promise anything, but I would like to do something And yeah. So, all right, spirits. Let's go back to some questions. When you are a spirit, are you able to enter humans freely, or does that person that is being entered, do they have to give you permission? Is there some sort of rules to how spirits interact with the matter, the human matter, the material, this flesh? Is there rules? What are they? Man, asking way too many questions. All right, spirits. First off, why do you enter human beings? Why do you enter them? However you do them, through an energy orb, walk into them, think about it. However you do it, why do you do it?
Paranormal. There's
What we have termed possession, what we think may be demonic or bad energies sometimes, are those actually just ghosts that maybe are surly or have bad tempers? Can ghosts possess people? Well, tying back to George Meek in that press conference, he mentioned that spirits imagine, kind of like we see pictures of the atmosphere and the stratosphere and these layers above the earth. His poster looked like that, to where the layers, instead of that kind of stuff, the layers were like these spiritual energy layers that ghosts are traveling through, some consciously, some unconsciously, depending on what sort of higher consciousness raising abilities they have, apparently. And he claimed that this person, Radi Constantine, I can't remember the name that he was communicating. He was supposedly communicating with a spirit that was a dead scientist that was trying to help him formalize this ghost box, the spirit com, I think is what it was called. I may be off on a lot of this. I'm just going off my head, and I haven't really researched a ton lately. But essentially, as he was communicating with this first spirit, that spirit was unconsciously being elevated through his consciousness, so that the frequency that he was communicating with became null and void and was useless, because he needed machinery that could get to higher frequencies. And at that current time in that research and development, they did not have the ability to do what he felt that needed to be doing, what the spirit he was told. But the spirit that he was communicating with raised into a higher consciousness unwillingly. It just happened through his own spiritual progression. And so the long and short of that is, he basically kind of painted the picture that spirits are moving through that poster of the atmospheres of the different layers of the spiritual realm, up and down unwillingly. And sometimes they drop out of the spiritual realm and come back into the material realm, and they snap into humans, essentially. They not meaning to. It's this weird process to where the spirit, it's higher consciousness, it's whatever spiritual path gets deterred, either willful or unwillful, and they'll get bounced out of that weird spiritual realm, and they'll find themselves back into another mortal form. And so it was really weird. He didn't get deep into it, but it felt like he was referring to stuff like possession and stuff like that. Is that may be kind of, the lack of a better term, a scientific explanation for that stuff, like what's really going on. And so maybe that's spirits. Maybe when the media has kind of glorified and romanticized, possession in general, but maybe it's not necessarily something dark and bad. Maybe it's a spirit that's kind of lost, and it's who, I don't know why is it doing it. Maybe if it latches on to somebody that's kind of a higher spiritual frequency, it can kind of help to shortcut, to tune back into what is needed quicker. Maybe that's what the cosmos, maybe that's what nature itself, the design, whatever you want to call it, maybe that's just part of the process. it really seems like it's this path of self-development and self-awareness and recognizing reality. I really don't know. It's crazy. It's beyond me still, but I keep going. So spirits, is there some sort of spiritual road that you are traveling up and down depending on some sort of rule set, as who knows if you're good or you're bad, or if you have good thoughts or if you have bad thoughts? Is there a spiritual process you are either elevating or decreasing? Or I think you understand what I'm saying, spirits. Is there some sort of system like that in the spirit world?
With that.
Come. Time music.
The mortal form, what we are experiencing right now as a life, where is this in this spiritual scale? Is it in the middle? Is it at the bottom? Is this the beginning of the spiritual scale? What is this mortal matter material world? What is it in that path, that adventure?
Thoughts.
Adults and
And love.
the rest of me. Pick up a package. Seventy in light up.
Is there a path that you know that you can travel, or is it all just winging it and going? As in, when we die and we become a ghost or a spirit, is there some sort of guidelines that's set out for us to let us know what is going on? It seems to be the popular belief that we think spirits kind of just get what's going on in reality a little more than us. Is that the case, or do you just have no clue, just like us? What do you know about that?
People need to be there.
This is first. Payment.
But then
What? On the.
it's good stuff.
You need a.
All right, spirits, I want to try an experiment real quick where I hold something in front of the camera. First, I'm going to hold what it is in front of the camera, and we're just going to see if you can name for me what it is, okay? And then I'm going to ask one more question about it. Can you tell me, spirits, what am I holding in my left hand here in front of the camera? What is that?
Super.
It's not soup.
Also.
And
Well, my second question, I dropped the card so everybody can see what it is, but I was hoping I could see if you can tell us what card it is, and then reveal it. But yeah, I already dropped it, so I think everybody saw. But I'm just gonna hold it like this, and we're gonna see if you can tell me what card it is in my hand, and then I'm gonna turn it over. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Ace of spades. That's weird how you just picked up cards right after or right before I did. That's so weird. Hell yeah. See, that's that weird kind of synchronicity thing of that Carl Jung speaks about, that like we are unconsciously tapping into. I think a good example of that is like when you sense you're gonna get a phone call from a friend right before it happens. It's just weird. What is that? What? It's really weird. And I think Jung. I'm not an expert, but I believe he felt dreams was a way that we could experience that world. So yeah, very cool, very interesting philosophical stuff that is still way over my head, but I still love to learn about it and research it. Spirits, is there such thing as reincarnation? Do spirits get brought back into live this mortal form again after they've lived who knows how many, 3 lives, 500 lives, 1,000 lives? Is reincarnation something that really happens? Please tell us what you know about that. It's not like it just said the card right as I turned it up. It's like the card.
Yes.
Los precios. Holidays.
Some really weird, interesting things coming out of that. Spirits, can you tell me, have I been reincarnated? If I have, can you tell me what number life am I on? Is this my first life? Is this my 5th life? What number life am I on?
I guess.
Is there an end? Is there a final place that spirits can finally go to? If so, what is the name of this place? If it even has a name. All right, here's the mother of them all. I'm going to ask spirits, what is the purpose of life? There's some weird, that male is like flaming sword or something. That was really weird. That makes me think of the razors. How you hear Occam's razors, there's like a handful of other razors, and the most powerful razor is called Newton's flaming sword or something like that. It's some crazy name. Basically, just like none of this stuff can exist at all because there just isn't any proof. There isn't enough tangible proof, so it doesn't exist, which is really weird because Newton, as far as I can read on my own research, was interested in the supernatural and was fascinated with things like numerology and astrology and stuff like, weird stuff like tarot cards, that kind of weird synchronistical, weird what's going on stuff. And so I don't know, did the science community do that out of spite? Possibly. Maybe that's why they named that one. I don't know. I really don't know, but just as well known as he is for being super fancy science guy, there is a lot of people that talk about his thoughts and ideas of space and time and the cosmos and philosophy and the bringing together of science and spirituality instead of a gap, which there shouldn't be a gap. It's like these two major facets of existence in general, and it should be brought together. And Newton was one of the last guys. That era was the last of that, as it was delving into more of the great divide between science and spirituality. So it's fascinating stuff, and I'm not an expert. I highly recommend you looking all this stuff up on your own if you can, if you're interested, because it's never ending and it's freaking fascinating. Who in the science world at that time was in the spiritual world as well? And there's a lot of big names in the science world today that they never talk about. The Kevin Bacon is Sir Francis Bacon is a huge science guy that was into the supernatural. So it's something that's around, and it's something that I don't think should be shied from, and people shouldn't be ashamed to be interested in something that we can't explain. So yeah, that's what I think about all that, spirits. What do you think about this divide, the great rift in science and spirituality? What do you think about that, my spirit friends?
That's the fruit. Music.
Is there going to be a time in the near future, hopefully in our lifetimes, where the spiritual and the scientific are bridged more? Is that happening? I mean, in the quote unquote fancy pants science world, they're entertaining ideas that just 15, 20 years ago they thought were ideas of raving madmen, and just something as simple as an atom, the atomic structure. When that idea was presented, that we might not be what exactly we think we are, was thought lunacy, and now it's accepted fact. So is it fact? I can't tell you, but I know what the bigwigs think everything is comprised of and stuff. And the deeper we looked into the atom, we found that what we are comprised mostly of, atoms, the atom itself is something ridiculous. It's mostly just empty space. It's like 98% nothing. So we are something that at its core base is mostly nothing. So how is that even happening? We don't know. We can't explain it. And so there has to be, besides science, there has to be other things that we have to bring into that, these different non-tangible ideas. Stuff like spirit, stuff like energy, stuff like your mind being able to do things that the science world says can't happen. But there's just now, especially with the verbal history, there is just so many tales and stories of people doing supernatural things that it can't be ignored. It just can't. So spirits, in the near future, will this bridge be built? Will there be the most famous scientist in the world is also, I don't know, a Ouija board fanatic. Will that day come and when?
Next.
Por supuesto con la...
Peterson, sir. Don't exist. Fire time.
You see, spirits, what we're doing right now in the scientific world, it's scoffed at, it's looked down upon, because they feel we're just crazy maniacs that are talking to devices that we think that the maniacs think that we're getting intelligent responses out of. And the hardcore skeptic, pardon me, completely ignores that and doesn't even entertain anything beyond that. And so it's just very far short-sighted, because even, let's say, we can't ever prove to what these things are. If we can figure out how they're communicating, what they are doing, how they are changing this stuff, we are going to unlock a whole new frontier on its own of who knows what sort of modern new communication techniques we could use, or who knows if stuff like medicine even as well. Like, we just don't know. If these energies can manipulate things, perhaps they can manipulate things like cancerous cells. Like, we just don't know. And to just short-sightedly shoot it down that it's just guys talking to a radio or digital voice recorder, and especially with the digital voice recorder, the hardcore skeptic will tell you it's just rogue radio. No, it can't be, because I myself have never captured EVP of a commercial ad, and I've never heard EVP of a commercial ad. And I know there are serious people out there that would present this information if they can find it, because there are serious people that are not only trying to prove it, but disprove it as well. Look at it in the middle and just poke holes at it and see what pops out. And so I just wanted to put that in because, you know, it's simplistically, it doesn't look like much, especially with my presentation today. I just have some ghost boxes on the screen and we're just listening to me sweeping a radio. Simplistically, yeah, that's really nothing. But if you kind of try to look at the big picture of what's really going on, who knows what kind of benefits could arise from these experiments for humanity in general, if not the entire existence of reality. Hell, we have ideas of once we'll like hit warp speed, or once we do certain things, or even with atomic bombs that brought attention to advanced species that we're exploring, instead of like in the movie Star Trek, which one was it? I can't, Generations or something. One of the Next Generation, Star Trek: The Next Generation movies, First Contact. That's what it was. Yeah, they do their first warp speed test and are successful, and that catches the attention of the Vulcans, and that's when first contact happens because we hit warp speed. Maybe it's not traveling the cosmos. Maybe it's freaking talking to a ghost box is what's going to unlock the human race into the higher echelon of species throughout this universe that have to be there. It just can't be us just wandering around on this wobbly rock. It can't be. It's the odds now are just way too in the favor of the universe teeming with life beyond our wildest imagination. And so this may be a way we can actually communicate with species 100 million light years away. There's ideas in the Stargate franchise television world of a rock, just a couple rocks. You touch a rock in the Milky Way galaxy and another person touches a rock in the Pegasus galaxy, and they're able to instantly switch bodies. Their consciousness travels from that one rock to the other rock, and whoever touched that second rock, they swap consciousness. Ghost boxing might be something like that. We really just don't know. And I just wanted to put that in there because you just don't hear people talk about that kind of stuff really ever. It's really just like, I'm ghost boxing. And this is when we got to really kind of move forward. We've been kind of doing the same stuff. I'm guilty of it as well. And we really just got to move forward from here and poke holes anywhere we can poke them. And yeah, so I just wanted to put that out there because I really think if there is just randomly some scientific person that is more like electrically minded, you know, and more engineer minded or whatever, this is like stuff that can be looked into and possibilities. What the heck? And I just spat out a couple of ideas. I'm trying to remember a couple more. There's a couple other ones that stem from that, but those ideas will spawn other ideas, and thus the field keeps growing. And so yeah, I don't know. I just want to put that out there to humans and spirits listening. What this seems very simple, but it has the possibility of great things coming out of this very simple experiment. So thank you, spirits. Thank you, everyone, anyone, live or dead. I just wanted to get that out there and kind of show you a larger breadth of this experiment, other than just ask questions, wait for answers. I mean, there's bigger ideas in the works. So thank you, spirits. With all that said, am I close with any of these ideas? Can this be used as some form of communication, interstellar communication with other species? What do you know about that? Cornell Medic. That was really interesting. Will humans, do you know, can you predict the future? Can you see the future? Will humans figure out what is going on with this weird electronic voice instrumental transcommunication, you know, interdimensional communication? Will we eventually figure this stuff out? Yes or no? Thought I heard a female say no. It was like, no, like no, it ain't happening. That's not a surprise at all, because I really feel there's just some things that we'll just never know. No matter how smart you are, no matter what side of the railroad tracks you were raised on, there's just certain things we just won't know. And it's not that we can't know, or there's somebody keeping this information. It's just how it is, I guess. So going from that, then, is there certain things that you are allowed to tell us versus other things you just have no clue? For instance, I'm just going back to the like predicting things, because I've heard on my ghost boxes and other sessions where it seems like they're trying to say what might happen on future events, and a lot of times it doesn't even happen. And why is that? Is it a dimensional thing? Is there infinite dimensions where infinite possibilities are going on, and so you just kind of give us an idea, but it might not play out in our dimension? Man, at this point in a ghost box session, the questions just get so wild. I love it. What do you think of that, spirits? Waiting. Okay, I'm gonna go with that. That stood out. It most likely was a song, but it just really stood out. What are you waiting for?
Chicago.
Are you waiting for some other spiritual guide to take you somewhere? What? That just popped in my head, so I'm gonna go with that. Is that what you're waiting for?
Somebody.
What?
All right, spirits. Let's take it a different direction now. Let's talk about weird, funny things that have happened to you. What's the funniest practical joke that you ever had pulled on you? Let's see what the Ghost Fox says.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
For me, spirits, it was the cigarette loads, those little explosive things you would put in cigarettes. I'd put them in my mom's packs, and I'd put them like in the cigarette near the back or something, so she'd smoke like most of the pack, and then randomly just go. I'd love doing that. I only did it a handful of times because my mom. It really ticked her off, but that was something I did. I thought of other practical jokes that I've seen other people do, but I never did it. One that I always wanted to try, but I never did, was where you put cellophane or plastic wrap in a hallway or something, and you somehow get the person to run, and they run like right into it or something. Or you could put it on the toilet seat and stuff like that. What about a whoopee cushion, spirits? I had a whoopee cushion. Oh, you know what I had that was disappointed when I got as a little kid was those damn joy buzzers. In all the television and the mythos, like you shake somebody's hand and they get like all shocked, and all it is like you wind it up and it makes a buzz feeling, like a vibration. Those joy buzzers suck. So do those X-ray goggles. Those things don't work. What do you think about those, spirits? What was your favorite gag, your favorite joke gag toy?
really? Fuck you.
Oh, spirits. One of my other favorites I just remembered, besides the cigarette load, was putting a dollar. I had this device. It was like basically a dollar on a string, but it was like a push button. I don't even know. It was like a push button key thing, like that custodians have their keys on. They can pull it out, so you could pull the string out, like I don't know, 10 feet, 15 feet. Put a dollar there, and then in my hand at the end of the string, I had this little push button thing that I could push the button, and the dollar would just shoot back instantly. Oh man, I had some fun times with my cousins with those things. What do you think of that? I liked the dollar on the string gag. That was a good one, huh, Spirit?
Audio back. Magical.
Yeah, that's funny. I haven't seen that, but yeah, make phones and stuff that actually shock people. I wouldn't be surprised. They probably have some crazy prank stuff these days with shows like Jackass and how pranks on YouTube are so popular. Yeah, there's probably some high-tech prankery going on today. What's another one, spirits? What about the flower? The jacket flower that actually shoots water. Did you ever have one of those?
Save you money.
80. Free. All right.
All right, here's a possible intelligent question. Spirits, who's your favorite comedian of all time? Robin Williams, George Carlin, any of those big guys, Eddie Murphy, who else? Just whoever. Who's your favorite comedian of all time? That'd be cool if you hear that.
Picture. This year,
Who's it?
again,
Spirits, when it comes to just straight wit and creativity and genius, I would probably have to say George Carlin. I mean, that guy is one of a kind. He's definitely, when it comes to just like really witty, creative stuff, he's one of my top favorites.
lobster. It's no. Appreciate it. Where
Yeah, that was one of his greatest gifts, is that, you know, it was all humor and stuff, but he was being straight up like, this is what's going on. And not only could he make you laugh, but he would wake you up. Yeah, no, for sure. Hell yeah. Oh man, I was gonna ask Spirits, do you remember I think I'm saying his name wrong, but I can see his image in my Gallagher. Do you remember Gallagher, that comedian? His whole gimmick was that he would say some stuff and then smash fruit with a I think hammers and sledgehammers and stuff like that. And the dude got really popular. He even had specials. I remember seeing like it was either HBO or television. I just remember seeing a special when I was a kid too. And yeah, what's up with that? Yeah, I'm not a comedic genius, but he's not the funniest thing ever, but he somehow got huge. What do you think of Gallagher, Spirits?
only right. Lotto.com.
Here, I got one, Spirits. What was your favorite sitcom? Either growing up as a kid or as you got older? What's your funniest favorite sitcom you love to watch?
Running on.
And entered 40. Gauge your box.
Spirits, did you ever do the old cherry bomb in the toilet at school? My dad claimed that he did that. I don't know how true it is, but it was just always one of those stories that I never quite believed, because he seemed to like to embellish a lot of his older stories, so especially when he's tipsy. But yeah, my dad claims that when he was a kid, he did that old cherry bomb in the toilet and flush it and break a pipe, and freaking school gets canceled and all that jazz. Did you guys ever do any of the old cherry bomb exploding toilet pranks? If so, what was it like? What school did you do that? Did you have fun?
On the house. They downloaded. Don't you?
Spirits, can you tell me, is my dad full of it? Was he just making up that whole story?
That's longer.
Someone get it.
I heard a yes. Okay, I believe it. Right at the end there, I heard yes. Real faint too. That one sounded different than a radio hit. Thank you, Spirits. All right, Spirits, I'm not going to go too much longer. I wanted to keep this one shorter. So please, let's take a few minutes, and I'm not going to ask any questions this time. We're just going to see what you can tell us, what you think about me, what you think about the process, what you think about being a spirit. Are you a spirit? Are you something else? Just anything you can tell us, please. We're going to be listening. Go ahead.
National.
Oh, and try to laugh. Yeah, I've been wanting to hear that too. If we can get a laugh, if you thought I was funny at all, if you don't think I was funny, just go boo. That'd be funny if it did that too, as well with the other stuff. So go ahead.
Now, hi. What do you see? The box. Is this you?
Spirits, can I please speak to the ones that are protecting me? Is there a way that I can speak to spirits or energies that are protecting me? Please, can I?
G-force. More with our guests. Did bacon?
Can we try to get the names of any spirits or energies that are my guardians or protecting me right now? Please, go ahead.
Denver's.
Well.
If there are messengers or guardians around me, my protectors, what message do you have to tell me? What can you let me know? Am I doing bad? Am I doing good? Am I on the right path? Tell me what I need to know, please, if you can. If not, it's okay. Don't worry. But I'm really intent on listening. Please, go ahead.
Parachute.
If there are any messages or information from my friends watching currently or in the future from their guardians, from their protectors, from their spirits, can we please try to get that across to them? Please go ahead. Vincent. Okay, cool. Thank you. You know, that is very interesting that you mentioned that, because today, I think it was today or last night, I was just chilling thinking. I think it was this morning when I was waking up, and oh no, it was when I was playing this game, LA Noir, and it's set in the 1940s, and I'm playing it in the black and white mode, so it totally feels like an old school, like that era. And there was names in it, and somehow the name Vincent popped in my head, and I was thinking Vinny, Vincent, and then I started thinking Vincent Price, and I don't remember how it all tied in, but it's really weird you say that, because I had that name pop in my head. It was either earlier today or last night, so that is very unique and one hell of a correlation and coincidence. So Vincent, interesting. Vincent, Yeah, if you're here with me, thank you, Vincent. It's nice to meet you, by the way. If you've been around here a while and watching me, that's cool. Thank you. I really appreciate any protective energy. Do you have a message, Vincent, you'd like to tell us? Please go ahead.
Ayúdanos.
Yeah, I'll have to sit once this ends and gets quiet and try to remember exactly when that name popped in my head. But just literally in the last day, that name was popped in my head out of nowhere. So that is just really cool. That's really freaking awesome. And thank you, Vincent. It's a really awesome name, by the way. And I had a good friend growing up named Vinny too. We never called him Vincent, but yeah, Vinny, Vincent, really cool. Can we try to get one last time of any other names of who we were communicating with today? Not necessarily connected to me or my friends watching, but just spirits that may have tried to communicate. You might not have got through. You may have said a voice. You may have got through, but we don't know who you are. I want to take the next couple minutes just to try to get names to kind of sign off and tell us who we were talking to today. So please, who are you? Who have we spoken with? Go ahead. Thank you. I just heard James, or it's James or James, and I thought I was talking with James earlier. So hell yeah, thank you. Keep going, guys. Who have we been speaking with? That James that just came out too, it was really unique sounding and completely different than a radio hit. So I can't say 100% convinced, but I'm pretty high percentage convinced that was some sort of non-radio hit. And we got earlier, I started the session asking for a few names. I got the name Patty, what I thought maybe. So I asked a few questions of Patty, and then I asked the second name, and it sounded like James. And so I went with James, and I asked to talk to James. So to an hour and a half later, when I asked who we were talking with to get James out the box again, I mean, come on, thank you, spirits. That's what we're looking for. That's the, to somebody that doesn't really understand, that's really nothing. But to me, that is really big. That's huge. And that's a giant high five. That's the Eiffel Tower high five. So thank you so much. Any other names, any other messages, please. Now's your opportunity. This is your podium. Please go ahead.
Al contrario.
7-1.
Well, I thank you, spirits. Thank you so much. Hey, greetings. Welcome to anybody that's just popping in chat. I wanted to keep this one a little shorter today. Just doing it kind of old school, straight up ghost box, nothing fancy, no fancy cameras. I wish I had batteries for these devices. I don't have any, so they're more just for looks, and it was more just kind of listening tonight. But greetings. Welcome if you're just joining. I actually wanted to keep it shorter, so I'm going to be wrapping it up. So I want to thank you if you're popping in now. Hello. Thank you. If you were here the whole time from the beginning to end, thank you very much. If you were a straggler that just popped in, thank you. If you were lurking in the bushes, thank you. Keep that bush warm for me. And yeah, that's going to wrap it up. So I want to thank my spirit friends. my human friends, what other energies are around here. I just term you all as spirits. I don't know. This has been very peaceful, very calm. I haven't felt any negativity. Chat room has been nice and jovial the whole time. And I 100% humbly appreciate that. So with all that said, thank you very much. This is December 11th, 2016. And this is going to be Rusty Reporter signing out. So take care of yourself. Take care of one another. Keep researching. Keep asking questions, people. Until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.